And welcome back to the SuperCaZt. This is Steve Z, the man who put the Z in SuperCaZt, and with me is this guy, SuperFosh, the man who put the super in SuperCaZt.
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to SuperCaZt. Gosh.
Well, that was a disaster. Let's try again.
Welcome to SuperCaZt Extras, everybody. Hope everybody's been having a good week. I know summer's kind of kicking in and having fun, but man, it sounds like you've been through it for the last few days, man.
Yeah, I started off the week pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good about myself because, as you guys know, I'm a pretty big Celtics fan.
Yes, he is.
And my guys were frustrating me so bad. I mean, like when we did that Alien episode, I was depressed. I was down.
Yeah.
Because they were playing like garbage.
Yeah.
But then they came back and it looked like they're going to make history. And I guess before we get into that really bad part of it, let's talk about the elation I felt about this time last Saturday.
Yeah.
Game 6. It ended so cool.
It did.
It was one for the ages, because I felt so many emotions in those last few seconds. I went from feeling pretty good about our chances to once Al Horford fouls Jimmy on that 3, I was just like, okay, well that's it, because we're not going to come up with a good shot, because that's kind of how I felt about this team. It's been a love-hate situation. Yeah. We've got all the talent, but poor execution and not the best coach.
I am the worst coach ever.
Not going to get into that spiel.
I won't.
But
yeah,
I was not feeling good, basically, especially when Jimmy Butler goes to the line, because he's playoff Jimmy. He's going to hit all 3, and he did.
Right.
So, feeling pretty terrible. So I'm like, well, that's the season right there. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, they made a run at it. They saved their pride.
Yeah.
But then,
the
inbounds play happened, and it looked like bad. Once again, my thoughts, my negative thoughts were coming true. I'm like, yeah, we're going to lose this one. Marcus throws up a shot, a pretty decent looking shot, but it's Marcus. Marcus is not known to hit those shots.
Right.
It goes in and out, but luckily Derek White, Mr. Awesome Afro Man himself, comes in there, tips it in with 0.1 seconds left, and I lost my mind.
It's off to Smart for the 7th game. Commanded tipped in, but the buzzer sounded. The light was on. It'll be reviewed. I don't think he got that in time.
Because as soon as it went in, I was like...
Yeah, because the thing is, it was very, very close to being out of time. Like, it was really the only time he could have done that. Like, it was just right there. And that was amazing. I watched it a couple times, highlights myself, and I was like, wow, he barely got that.
Yeah, it was amazing. I lost my mind. I ran around the house. I was screaming. But a controlled scream. It was kind of like one of those where I just didn't know what happened. It's like, did this really just happen? Yeah. And I was like that for a whole 24 hours. I was just like, I can't believe that happened. That was amazing. I can only compare it to like those serious TV moments where you like thrown something at the TV or something like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that whole moment is ruined now because of what happened later. But I was going to see is there any cool like sports moments like that for you that you want to share?
Yeah, there's a couple. And I didn't even plan this, but I'm wearing an Auburn shirt. I'm an Auburn fan, so come at me. But and you were actually with me on one of them, but it was when they were playing Georgia, and Nick Marshall throws the ball downfield, literally Hail Mary. It bounces into the Georgia guy's hands, bounces out, the guy catches it, touchdown, they win the game. And you're like, oh, that can never be topped. That's never going to be topped. No way, no way. What, 2 weeks later, or whatever it was, against Alabama, the hated Crimson Tide, again, come at me. Yeah, that they were going to go for a 57-yard field goal, which, if you guys aren't familiar, that's a pretty long field goal. So he'd have to really kick it. And I was at that game. We were in the stands. Me and my entire family were there. And it was like, oh, they're kicking to our side. That's right. So, and I was like, yeah, that's going to be short. And then the guy catches it, Mr. Chris Davis, and he just starts to run. And you're like, oh, he's not going to make it. He's not going to. And then he gets a block. I don't remember who it was that gave him this like really, really good block. And then he scores a touchdown, and then all hell breaks loose. That to me will never be topped. It was awesome, man. Because, Alabama was picked to win the national championship, and, Auburn was doing pretty good. I mean, they were in it, and they ended up playing for the national championship against Florida State. We won't go into that, because that did not end very well, but again, we won't go into that. But yeah, so I feel you, man. Any other sports close calls or buzzer beaters to compare for you, man? Because I'm sure there's got to be some more.
I mean, there's definitely some buzzer beaters. There's some cool moments, but at the same time, none of them were like reached this level of disbelief. So that's why this one was super special. It was. I mean, that's.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? I don't wanna wait for our lives.
What makes mine and yours different is yours. It was over a rival, and at least you could hang your hat on that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you lost the next game and that's the end of your season.
Right.
But history was nearly made, and it was really cool. And I think we'll be fine next year. But nevertheless, I was kind of at that point where I needed to move on with my life, and I've kind of moved on. I've really got a show going, helping trying to do our stuff, but also getting into film some more, watching some cool movies, and that's why I wanted to show off. So
he's got some cool stuff, guys.
Some physical media.
Let's see it.
So
show the people.
I guess I have to talk about this one just because when I got this was the most beautiful thing I'd ever bought, because David Bowie, he's an idol. He's a hero of mine. And Man of Middle Earth, I like the movie. I have it actually a really good Criterion edition that has a book and everything with it. But this is an amazing steelbook. It's so cool.
That looks cool, man.
And it's a 4K.
Wow.
It's more of a Bowie souvenir than an actual one for the movie, because he doesn't look like this in the movie, really.
Right.
But it's gonna be awesome. I want to watch it. Sometime we'll do it whenever you're in for
we'll definitely review that. Sure.
But this is the one that cheered me up this week originally, because I got it. I've been wanting to get it for a bit, and I could have sworn when I got it out of the packaging, I could hear the theme song.
Yeah.
It just sounded.
There it is.
And this one looks better in person than I thought it would, because it
looks amazing.
The Fortress of
really
Solitude. It's it glistens really well, and like he's kind of like glowing on here, so it's really cool set. The covers are kind of disappointing.
Really?
Just because the one they originally showed was like these steelbooks, and it had all the original posters on them and stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
But they sold out of those like instantly. I mean, and it was crazy because that was like $150. It was like $150, $130 for 5 movies. But I got this one. I'll let you decide about the cover. So here's Superman the movie. There it is. We got Superman 2.
Yeah.
And we have Superman 2, the Donner cut, first time on 4K. Actually,
nice.
All of these except for the first one is their first time on 4K, I should say.
Yeah.
Then we have Superman 3.
With Mr. Pryor.
Yep. He didn't make the cover, though. That's my big disappointment.
I'm surprised about that.
He needed to be on the cover. And then finally, the creme de la creme.
Quest for
Superman
Peace.
4, the Quest for Peace. So these, they're kind of controversial because there's some people out there that they just want a perfect transfer. That's all they want. And you got to realize sometimes you're not going to get a perfect transfer. But this is better than what we have. That's my thing. And it's on 4K. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to watch them.
I'm really excited about that because, if for nothing else, the Donner version of Superman 2. And it is worth it, man. I don't know if I've shown that to you or not, but we will definitely have a future episode on that specifically because of all the backstory. That Richard Donner finally got to come back and cut his film. Is it perfect? No. Do they use some test footage and stuff just to make the movie? Yes. But I really feel like it's a better cohesive movie with Superman 2 than the choppy one we got, in the original. So I'm really happy about that. I have a soft spot for Superman 3. I think it's a good film. I mean, is it, classic? Maybe not. But I don't know. And Richard Pryor does not necessarily steal the movie. I think he's okay, But
yeah, that's the one I'm excited to watch, just because I don't think I've ever seen Superman 3 all the way through.
Yeah,
I've only seen parts of it on TV, so I'm gonna see if it's. I mean, it's turning 40 this year too, so gotta check that one out.
I mean, I really hate to just crap on Superman 4 because I know Chris Reeve had a lot to do with it, and he put his heart into it. It wasn't like he was, because he loved the character. He was as Superman as anybody ever been. So I really don't want to just crap on that movie, but it's not good. It's just not. I mean, maybe we'll do a show on that one day and just kind of see if we can sit through it and see if we can find any goodness to talk about, because there's got to be some. I mean, other than Chris Reeve in the movie.
Yeah. You know what the ironic thing is? They
What's
said
that?
this is the best transfer of the bunch.
Really?
Hey, you look great.
Never mind the small talk, Luther. I've got a lot to do. What are you up to?
You know you're a workaholic. You're playing a good guy 24 hours a day. Why don't you stop and smell the roses, huh? Get yourself a hobby, a pet, a kitten, a puppy.
Well, it's common knowledge that you hate children and animals, Luther. What are you doing back in Metropolis?
Because I want to be the first to introduce you to the new kid on the block. Look closely at the cell structure. You see anything familiar?
You've already broken all the laws of man, Luther. Now, it looks as though you've broken the laws of nature, too.
Yeah, so that's got me cheered up a little bit, that Superman.
Hey,
So.
it looks great, man. They look really good, and I'm excited to watch them on TV and see how good they look.
But this is actually the one that it blew my mind when I got it, because, like, to me, when I typically look like a Jackie Chan physical release, this is what it is. It's like 8 of his movies.
Yeah.
They're thrown on DVD. They've dubbed over them. It's no packaging. It's just like, this is some clip art we found of Jackie Chan for some movie. But then I got this. This is Police Story 3 Super Cop, starring Jackie Chan and recent Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh. And I saw this, and it just blew my mind. Like, I could not believe it. I was like, I'm used to this, and I got this. Because
Pretty
this
awesome,
is one
man.
of the finest pieces of physical media I've ever owned and ever looked at. It's amazing. Like, this disc has weight to it.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. And it's like
That looks cool.
it's a whole book in here. It's got like all these photos of them like on set. It talks about all this stuff that happened in the making of the movie.
Yeah.
It's made me so happy. It's really cool. And I'm so glad that this Studio 88 Films, they're making stuff like this. So I'm
That's cool.
really excited about it. I'm gonna probably, anytime I get some extra money, I'm gonna buy some more of their stuff,
I
because
hear you.
they're just a company I really want to support. They're making some really cool stuff, because it's not just this one. It's not like they're just like, oh, here's one cool movie. They've got a whole arsenal of them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get these.
Cool. It looked awesome. And if you guys have not watched our video on Police Story, we did release a couple weeks ago now. Go check it out. We really enjoyed it. Really good video. I think you'll enjoy it. And first go watch the film, and then, because we do spoil the heck out of it, so But really a lot of fun to watch, and really getting into that kind of stuff thanks to you, my friend. So who knows? We may revisit police story universe, I guess, as it were, in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll definitely watch some more martial arts films and just get immersed in that stuff.
And now for something completely different.
But we always mix it up here.
We do.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally we have to go on rants. And I don't know if this is a rant that I'm about to go on, and you're probably going to join me in on that rant.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to have a discussion about our present state of just media, because it's easy to get depressed, and sometimes I guess you gotta like get it out there because there's some crazy stuff going on, man, and it doesn't make me happy for anybody involved.
Okay, but give me an example.
I guess I'll just start off with the most recent one. So Disney, yeah, they're the perpetrators here. Not too shocking, and it's nothing to do with politics. To me, this is what they are doing with just their content, because that's what they view it. They don't view it as like art. They don't view it as things that are gonna like enhance the culture. It's just content to them. And to me, what they've done with Disney Plus is the craziest thing ever. Let's go ahead and just talk about it. If you haven't heard about it, they just recently started pulling stuff from Disney Plus, and back in the day that was not that big a deal because they just had physical copies of stuff. People could buy it, and then later they released it 10 years later. They called it Disney Vault and stuff like that. People that worked on those movies did get those residuals down the line. They got paid for that. But when it comes to the streaming, if they just pull a show just like that, that definitely cuts on those residuals. Those people that worked on that show, that worked on that product, they're not going to get paid for that for a long time. Plus, the fans, people are not going to get to watch that. You're not going to find an audience for that, because if you don't own that, how are you going to be able to watch that? So it's very disappointing. It's very frustrating. I know it. I didn't watch any of the shows that got taken off, but I don't care. It's something that frustrates me because it's the way these companies view these, just what they produce now.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna advertise something and you're gonna get everybody hyped about it, and you know, like I know for instance, the Willow thing was canceled, and everybody, including my wife, was really excited about it, and I was excited to watch it, you know. And then they're like, oh nope, we're not gonna do it. It's like, and I get things happen. I get that things change, and you know, maybe stuff doesn't get responded to, so they're like, okay, we're gonna have to change it up. That's fine. That's great. But you're gonna cancel it before it even comes on? I mean, and there's got to be more to the story. I don't know. There's probably more to it that I'm not even aware of, and I probably sounds stupid at this point, but yeah, I mean, you know, when you think of streaming, I think sometimes we think, well, they can have everything on there, and they're obviously not gonna have everything. But I mean, it's something that I at first was really excited about, because it's just, you know, just point and click and turn it on and boom, there it is. But I'm with you, man. And not just Disney. I know the other streaming services are doing it too. And again, there's probably more going on behind the scenes, and it probably all goes back to money, if we're being honest. But it's just, as a consumer, as a fan of something, you know, I think we have a right to voice our opinion on this. And I really think we should, because, you know, we're paying for the service, and we want, you know, we want something back, you know. I mean, if we're going to pay a little bit, that's fine. That's great, you know, but don't shortchange it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's definitely frustrating.
Yeah, and I know it's the whole market at work. It's the free market, and
Right.
and that's what irritates me kind of about it is it is just money motivated.
It is.
It's basically we can say because we've made so much money, we're going to pay too much taxes. So how can we cut off taxes? Oh no, we'll just say these were expenses. Let's just cut it off here, and that's what they do. Is they send these shows away to die. They never get seen again. We talked about a few months ago with the Batgirl situation, and that movie just got erased from existence. Like nobody sees that movie. So it's disgusting. I don't like it because they just see it as like disposable. And that how can you make good movies? How can you make the things that we like to talk about on this show that touch people's lives if all you see is money? So it's very depressing. Do you have anything to say about the whole state of it? I guess.
It's just it is frustrating, and the thing is, there's nothing we can do. Or you're kind of feeling helpless, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I really don't know what to say to it because it's so frustrating. You know?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess there are more choices out there. Even though it does seem like all those choices kind of seem like the same sometimes.
Yeah.
It seems like a watered down version.
Right.
It's frustrating, but I guess we do have to just celebrate those occasional successes because I know there's good stuff being made still. Like we were talking about Michelle Yeoh earlier. Everything Everywhere All at Once was a great film that came out. Won Oscar. Just the fact that it won Oscars is showing that, hey, culture's not totally dead.
Right.
But there's definitely good movies, shows that are being made, and that's what I think is kind of interesting is that it seems like, and I know you could speak to this more than me, it seems like television has kind of taken the place of movies as far as like being the place where challenging ideas happen, more intriguing characters, things like that. Do you think that's the case?
I do. I think even before streaming, I think, you had these TV shows like The Sopranos and X-Files and on that kind of began to look more just like mini movies, They had kind of a movie budget, they kind of movie schedule, and they could tell a longer story that way, doing it like that. And that's fine with me. If you got a good enough story that you can last over 10, 11, 12 episodes, I'm there. Let's go, I was actually just watching, before we were recording, I was watching the Daredevil show that was on Disney Plus. It's still on there, but they're rebooting Daredevil now, which whatever. But that was a good show. I thought it was a really well made show, and it was probably my favorite Marvel thing for the longest time until the Spider-Man films came out. So, I'm with all these TV shows and everything, and I think that's good because again, you can tell a longer story easier that way. But again, if the company, Marvel or Disney or whoever, decides, no, we don't really want to put all this money to that, we don't think it's gonna sell, or I don't know. Again, I don't know, but yeah, it's just crazy. So
yeah. And just that your point right there was opening up so many things because I was like, yeah, I agree with you. I agree that there's some great drama, there's some great stories out there that are told long. But at the same time, it has its consequences if we put all our eggs in that basket because, let's say, Daredevil. Do you think they had more ideas for that show? Yeah, they probably did. They want to continue it. But then that whole thing happened with Disney and Netflix. And as a result, all those shows kind of got it. The Defenders end up being a bomb of sorts, and they just kind of like blew up that whole thing. And I felt terrible. I felt let down as a fan. I'm gonna say there was good shows and everything, but I just kind of put a damper on it. And it's the other bad thing I think too is it's made to where some movies now they feel like they have to get long. Feel like they have to add stuff in there, and we get into these movies that feel like some of this is just filler. It doesn't really. It's not a good, well-made film. So I know I'm saying mostly negative stuff, but come on, let's end it on a positive note. What's a good
Well,
thing?
I was going
you
to say
think
one
of?
more negative thing because
Okay, one more negative thing.
I have to say this, and you may be surprised by this, but and we have to mention too, there is a writer's strike going on right now, and that's halted a lot of stuff, and that is just, that's definitely out of the fans' hands. Writers are not getting paid, and they should get paid. So yeah, I get that, but there's a little movie coming out shortly, and it's got a lot of things in it that probably at a certain age I would be really excited about, namely Michael Keaton as Batman again. But that movie, you just said it just a minute ago, they're packing stuff into these movies now where it's all this stuff. That movie looks so crowded and so crazy. It's like, is it all just going to be spectacle, or is there actually going to be a good story out of this? And why do we even care if this universe is being cut now? It's like, what do you're going to get me excited for something that could be, knowing that in a couple months this is all going to be gone. So just enjoy this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, other than they made the film, so they're like, well, we got to release it and make something off of it. So, and people will pay. I mean, people will go and see it and pay for it.
Oh yeah. That trailer dropped. People got hyped.
But why?
For some reason.
I mean, and I'm a huge DC fan. Let's not, mix words here. But DC, I don't know what's up with them. I don't know. I mean,
that's something we've unpacked plenty of times.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there today. I think we're gonna stay on the positive side. So yeah, man, give us a positive to try to end on, man.
All right, I'm just gonna say, I guess us, the consumer, there are choices out there. We just have to seek them out. There is still a plethora of great films and TV shows from the past to find and unearth. It's not like you're never gonna run out of cool stuff to watch.
That's true. That is very true.
That's a neat thing, and that turns against you. Go pick up a book. There's plenty to learn from books.
Yep.
So I guess that's the positive, is like, yes, content might be getting watered down, but I guess we, the consumers, eventually we can choose with our dollars. Don't go watch the movies if you don't like them.
That's right.
That's kind of where we are.
Yep. But we have good news, folks, because we are not on strike. We are here, and we've got some cool episodes coming up. Hopefully Double Indemnity is out by the time this comes out, and if you haven't seen that movie, go watch it and then enjoy our review. Let us know what you think of it. But we got some other stuff coming in, so yeah, stick with us, guys. We're not gonna just tease you guys. We're gonna deliver, aren't we, man? That's what we do here at the SuperCaZt.
It's summer. We're gonna be super. We're gonna double down our efforts. So stay tuned.
So if you guys remember, if you haven't been following us on our YouTube channel, just look for SuperCaZt with the Z, and we're on Facebook and Twitter. Also, just search for SuperCaZt with the Z, and you tell us what you would like for us to do. Maybe we'll feature in a future episode, because we are here for you guys.
All right, so that's all we got on SuperCaZt Extras today. This was fun.
Yes,
we talked
sir.
about some random stuff. Got some stuff off my chest, so very cathartic.
Yep.
We'll catch you next time on the SuperCaZt.
Later.